I'm driving through New Haven, Connecticut on my way to talk with Katie, passing the old Coliseum site and the Yale Bowl, places where the Grateful Dead once played. Katie was born into this music. She grew up inside the scene and later helped co-found Band News. Now she's taking that experience into her next chapter, working with JamBase. This is a conversation about being born on the bus and where the road leads now. All right, Katie,
Hey.
Let's get going because I know you got a lot to say.
Yes.
So it was so cool on the ride here. We're passing all kinds of Grateful Dead history. Dave and I were driving by, Toad's place, the old New Haven Coliseum, and then the Yale Bowl. And then across the street from the Yale Bowl, we'll talk about it later, is Westville Music Bowl. Yeah. So, we're just surrounded by music history. And you're just down the street from the Yale Bowl, and you were basically born into the Grateful Dead, born in May 1977. What was the date again?
May 10th. It was, the night off.
So the night off. So you were right after Cornell.
Yeah.
So you had no chance. You were going to be a Deadhead, right?
This is very true,
You're
yes.
going to be a Deadhead no matter what anyone said. But let's talk a little bit about your childhood, even though I know it was filled with the Grateful Dead.
Yes.
What else was going on in the house besides the Grateful Dead? And then we'll talk about kind of how you got on the bus super early in life, obviously.
Yeah. So my mom is a musician, and so we've always had music playing in the house. But one core memory I had probably around 8 years old was my older brother coming home from high school. This was probably around 1984, and declaring that Eddie Van Halen was the best guitarist that ever lived. And my father, thoughtfully nodded and decided that there needed to be some comparisons to it. He wasn't denying the accolade, but he wanted my brother to have a broader sense.
And so
exactly. So thus began what we called Vinyl Tuesday in the Irwin house. And so every Tuesday, my father would throw on Cream, The Who, Jeff Beck, just guitarist after guitarist to kind of just broaden both my brother and myself our experience of great guitarists, so that we had a bigger pool to choose who the best was.
That's a great story. Yes. It's amazing. I've only been doing this project for 6 months. It's insane how much Eddie Van Halen comes up.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, for real. Like he comes, and I was such a big Van Halen. I've talked about this before. I was such a big Van Halen fan. So now I was a Van Halen fan before I was a Grateful Dead fan. So, but what about you? Let's talk about how you got on the bus, like full-fledged.
The story goes, and my mother loves to tell the story of she used to be my father's plus one, and she decided that drum and space was too much, and she passed on her ticket to a 10-year-old Katie. And so my first show was July 1987 at the Meadowlands, and my father and his college roommate and his daughter, the four of us went, and my first reaction to all of it was just the colors and the just vibrant scene even before we stepped foot inside.
At 10 years old.
At 10 years old. It was tremendous. My father was always doing things when we were kids, testing the system, if you will. So one of the things that I can remember about that first show is that he pulled around to the back of the Meadowlands where the ponies were. And I was dying inside because he's about to go ask it. No, he wanted to go get a parking spot away from Shakedown with his 10-year-old daughter.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And I'm dying inside because he's about to go ask someone or say something. And he rolls up and he says, whatever he usually says, Johnny O sent me, and they waved us right through. And so we got to park away from the scene. But he walked me through my first Shakedown year in 1987. And it was tremendous. Then we get inside, and the show was, it was everything I could possibly imagine from a live music standpoint. I'm pretty sure I got a Not Fade Away in that show, and hearing, I've never been amongst that many people to begin with, let alone that many people saying the same words, clapping their hands.
Right.
It was life-changing. I mean, I it's not an overstatement. It truly was a life-changing experience for me.
So unlike many of us where it was, maybe in your teens, you're literally 10. Is that because your dad, who was already in it like for years and years and years,
Yes.
literally, seriously, when you were born, was your dad on tour or was that just a joke?
So he was not on tour,
Okay.
but
Because your joke is that was his night off, right?
exactly, yeah. So he was not on tour. That being said, he always went to shows when they came close by.
Okay.
And I didn't always get a +1.
Right.
There were some nights where I stood up and waited until he got home and asked what they played. And I remember this one show and he just kept saying, Uncle John's Band, Uncle John's Band. And it was, but yes, that was quite the experience at 10. And I'm forever grateful.
That's incredible because it's actually my partner here, Dave, behind the camera right now. That was his first show too.
Oh, that's fun. That's wonderful.
Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about, so you were fully in the music scene right away, born into it. And there were some good openers in those days. So talk to me a little bit about who you saw open for the Grateful Dead. I assume that 87, was that the Dylan?
That was the Dylan, and he wore a pink tuxedo, if I remember. And if it wasn't that show, it was a different show on the tour. But yes, we got to see Dylan, Los Lobos, which was a big, a huge musical influence in my household as well. Sting, there was a year of Sting. Traffic, I got to see that. So it's funny when I go through on DeadNet and try to figure out what shows I was at because I was so young.
Yeah, you weren't writing them down.
I wasn't writing them down, but it was usually the opener that clued me in because I really got to see some amazing artists.
Which one was your favorite?
I think Los Lobos. I think that was just whether it was a great show from start to finish or whatever. It was, and I'll have to say the difference between an indoor show and an outdoor show also became pretty apparent at a young age as well.
And what's your opinion on that? Because I got mine.
So the Meadowlands was super fun, and I guess if I wasn't a kid, it would be different. But as a kid, being inside Madison Square Garden, there was nothing like it, and there's still to me nothing like.
I totally agree. Like I want the energy trapped.
Trapped, yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but you and I are talking about it right now. Yeah. Maybe you and I are the only ones in the world, but I want it stuck. Yes. I don't want it to dissipate into the air.
Right. Well, and back
love
when
indoor shows,
and
so
back
much.
when MSG was great, and you can wander and again,
I wasn't wander the ring.
I wasn't let free. My father was very much a parental figure, but seeing the twirlers in the hallways, and and growing into that as I became an adult. There's not much anything that could beat MSG for me.
I'm with you on that one. All right, so talk to me a little bit too about. You said your mom was heavily involved in Nassau, a little bit with Jones Beach. So, I mean, I can't not ask you about the 1990 Branford Marsalis shows, which you did clue me in that you as a kid were there.
Yes.
Talk to me about that. Like, what did you know you were watching? Like a magical time in Grateful Dead history?
Yes, I could feel it.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily know. I could just feel that there was the people around me. So what strikes me for that show in particular, I was a little bit older, and that was the year that my father decided to sit separate from me. Oh. And so he and my Aunt Elizabeth.
That's a big deal.
It was a really big deal. And so he and my Aunt Elizabeth had floor seats. So he wasn't about to give me his floor ticket. So he and Elizabeth were on the floor, and I was up somewhere in the rafters. And I was surrounded by, just so many fans who were like losing it, that the energy, I knew something was afoot.
So again, you could just tell from the energy in the air. And
absolutely.
Once again, it was trapped.
Exactly. Yes, it was. Yeah.
All right, let's move on a little bit to the more modern era. Let's talk. I know you got something to say that's very personal about the Fare Thee Well show. So let's get into that. All right, bringing it up to when we're a little bit older now, I'm assuming you just saw all kinds of music after those teenage years and after Jerry passed. But a lot of us saw Fare Thee Well as a sort of defining moment in our age group, sort of, the Gen X age group, a defining moment of sort of getting to relive a little bit of it. But your story is uniquely different and personal. So I know you wanted to share it. So tell us about your experience there. And I know you have a couple things you want to show us as well.
Sure. Yeah. So in 2015 in July, I was pregnant with a child. We did not know if it was a boy or a girl, but we were very excited. So we scored tickets actually on the on sale, which was awesome. Really, really awesome. And so we decided to go for it. And it was like our baby moon. And literally the morning we were leaving, we got a phone call from our dear friend Maddie Barca, who asked us if we were going and asked us if we can pick him up in Yonkers on the way. So
it's a little out of the way.
Yeah. So we drove, we picked up Maddie. He was right on the side of the road, and we decided to charge ahead to Chicago. Along the way, we decided to name the baby. Maddie helped name the baby. Again, we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl, but we were going with Forbin for a boy and Scarlet for a girl. Flash forward to getting to Chicago, and it was my first time in Chicago in the city itself. So it's just really enjoying the sights and the scenes. And the one wish that I had going into it was that Trey sang Standing on the Moon. And I don't remember which night it was, but it came out and it was just beautiful. As well as when Trey got to sing Scarlet, again, knowing that this little baby could have been a Scarlet. And so the weekend was just tremendous. I mean, I think anyone who was there could share in just how much that old school vibe felt, and just walking around the city. We went to the fan art show, and it was just wonderful. We tried to get the Mass Day prints while we were there, but unfortunately it was sold out very quickly. We settled upon another poster to commemorate the wonderful weekend. On our drive home, I started to not feel so good and had a headache. And again, it's a lot. It was a long drive, and it wasn't tremendously hot, but there was definitely some heat going on. It was July, and so a couple weeks later, I was very sick, and they were trying to diagnose what was happening. And unfortunately, it ended with my daughter, Scarlet, being born still. So that experience that I had, while I am grateful that we were able to get there and be a part of all of it, has been a difficult listen back for me.
Sure.
There's been times where, it's come up on the radio or in my shuffle, and I still haven't 10 years later had the
fast forward.
Yeah, I can't do it. But as kismet and wonderful as this community is, there was a week after she passed away, there was a gentleman online who was offering up the Mass Days for face value. And even if you remember, right then and there, they were going for.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not big into art.
Okay.
In the jam band world. Like,
sure.
I'm starting to appreciate it more, but can you just explain a little bit more? What do you mean by that? Like the Mass Days, that's the print of the day. Is I'm assuming right?
Yeah. So that was one of the official prints.
Okay.
So typically in a weekend like Fare Thee Well, you would have a couple of artists that would have official prints.
Okay.
And so AJ Mass Day is an artist out of Hartford who had always been a lot artist actually for Fish. And for one reason or another, Fish always passed him up, and he always had the best art. And everybody was wondering when AJ's turn was to do the official art for Fish. And for one reason or another, it never happened. And so we were all very excited for him to be the official artist.
Plus, he's kind of local to us.
He's local to us.
Now that you're talking about it, I know who he is.
Yeah, Open Studios.
Yeah, I know who he is, yeah.
Tremendous guy. So his prints, which ran for $60 per print at the show itself, were immediately over $1,000 per print after the run. And so for this gentleman to be offering me the 3 prints at $180 was I thought they were fake. I didn't know what was happening, and he didn't know our story.
He didn't know your story.
He did not know our story. That's what was so incredible. It was
that's a miracle.
It really was. And so we already had our nursery set up, and so we hung the prints in my daughter Scarlett's nursery until it was time to redo the nursery, and then we hung them in my daughter Althea's room after she was born.
Okay.
So yeah,
and you have them right behind you.
I do, and
we'll get better shots for YouTube and everything.
But, so here's just an example of one of them. So we had a local artist. So as you can see, each one is a different color, and this one I can't. Oh, this is July 4th. So, but yes, these are a very, very special reminder of what was a bittersweet baby moon. And
it really does bring everything together, is that how emotionally connected, and most of us don't have a story like you,
right?
But how emotionally connected we are to this music.
Yeah, a time and place, set and setting, all of it. It's like you hear a song and you could go back and relive those times, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. It's that's what music is. It's storytelling, and it runs deep, and it's.
Okay, Katie, let's explore further. You've had basically your whole life in the jam band world,
Right?
But you decided a couple years ago to spin that more into a hobby, social media, kind of like I've been doing.
Yeah.
Maybe for the same reasons that, you needed some other stimulation besides your profession, right? And then you seem to have now spun it into a profession. So let's talk a little bit about, you're pretty known in the social media circles for Jam Band News.
Yes.
So how did that start? Just tell me where the idea came from. What were you thinking? Like, how did this come down?
So it actually was the idea of my ex-husband, Jim McGonigal. He approached my partner Kevin and I and noticed that there was kind of a void in the news reporting of jam bands online. He is a graphic artist profession, but doesn't really go out to like shows and stuff. And knowing that Kevin and I were going out a lot and we were involved in a lot of things, he asked us if we wanted to kind of just do like a short version of a podcast about going to shows. And so we thought, sure, that's fun.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, exactly. And so it started out, just kind of the three of us, and it was a really good way to bring the three of us together. It was great. It still is great for my daughter to see us,
family,
all
vibe,
of us working. Yeah. And so we immediately got approached by the Westville Music Bowl to ask if we wanted to do a ticket giveaway.
So this is like within moments of you starting to put stuff up?
Yeah, pretty much. They recognized that this was a free way to advertise their shows, and all it was going to cost them was 2 tickets. And so we obviously were all on board.
Yeah, of course.
And then a year or two after that relationship, probably about a year into that relationship, Westville Bowl was taken over by AEG and Bowery Presents. So then all of a sudden it became their other venues like Brooklyn Steel and other places like that asking if we want to do a ticket giveaway. And again, from a business point of view, it's free advertising. We don't make any money. We don't charge any money. We just do it for the fun. And it also kind of helped at the same time I was doing an internship at JamBase. And I was becoming a lot more aware of shows and events that were happening that weren't just in a narrow focus. They weren't just Fish or Twiddle or, J-Rad.
How did you get involved with that?
So they posted an internship opportunity online. Okay. And I knew that I was years away from leaving the teaching profession and thought, how arrogant am I that I'm going to leave teaching and just think that I'm going to get a job somewhere?
Leave that sweet pension behind.
Exactly. And he was so I started my internship with them doing like data management. what most people would say like nerd stuff.
Okay, so like what?
So, for example, I started out with festivals, and so we would get Coachella just dropped, and we have to now build that festival in the back end for JamBase to then show, the lineup, the ticket links, the dates, an image, that kind of stuff. So, just working off of that, and then from there, it became more of a data quality. So, like JamBase, in my opinion, I've been using it since early 2000s, and they are the most trusted source for their information to be correct. And so part of that, now that I know under the hood, is that they have people looking at their imports coming in.
Doing the work.
And so regardless of AI or regardless of all of the information that we get from these ticket feeds, there's bad data out there.
Sure.
And so one of the things I'm charged with is looking over that data and is John Legend really playing in Venice, Italy on New Year's Eve? And if he's not, then we're not listing that show, and that maintains our data quality.
So it's quality control.
It sure is.
So I find this really neat because maybe it's just coincidence you were doing Band News and the internship at the same time, because I always felt like JamBase, for those of you guys don't know, is a go-to, and it was a lacking part of the internet. Where can I type in where I live and see everything?
Right. Or I'm visiting a family member in Sheboygan and I need to get away from my parents right now.
Yes. And so I always thought they found a nice pocket of the internet that wasn't there.
Yes.
And then your ex-husband and you and Kevin found a pocket on social media that wasn't there.
Right.
And so it really is serendipitous that you're now going to actually leave teaching and work for JamBase.
I am. I officially retired as of January 9th, and it is very exciting. And again, it's brought in my musical experience as well. I mean, I'm JamBase is very proud that we have really gone global, and so I'm learning about these K-pop artists, and
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's really cool because there's a lot of music outside of the jam band world that if you don't have the bandwidth to listen to, or like I did not have the bandwidth.
A lot of my friends don't have the bandwidth. They're not willing to look.
No, not willing to
they
look.
They don't even want to look at Goose.
No, yes, right. It's time, it's energy, and it's the willingness to kind of step out a little bit. And not everything is, I love, but I've discovered some really,
it's nice to know what's out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Jam Band News still is going on. We kind of slowed down a little bit. We used to do a lot more like tour announcements and things like that. But we've kind of just taken a little step back just because we all got busy, and hobbies sometimes get pushed aside. Sure. But we are still out there giving away tickets and having a great time and enjoying the music.
Yeah, it's super fun. And I wanted to thank you because you got me in touch with the Capitol Theater after one of our episodes, and we're going to do a little work for them. So
yes, well, it's well deserved.
It's also fun, like just to be a little part of the world that makes a lot of magic for a lot of people, and online is part of it these days. So
absolutely.
Here we are. What have been some of your biggest challenges before we move forward here?
With Jam Band News?
Yeah, with Jam Band News. What do you find is hard about the internet world? Or social media world?
The social media world, I mean, you can have people who are being mean. And when you're not someone who, we're just coming at this with kindness, and so to get a pushback when we post, Bertha, the drag band, it's like it's so hard to not feed the trolls.
It's hard not to snap back.
Yes, because it's like, dude, we're in this for the good of the community, and it's supposed to be fun. So I feel like that's been the biggest drawback, but luckily it hasn't been all that bad. It's there are pockets at times.
Yeah, like the guy who called me a 50-year-old loser the other day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How hard it was not to be like,
yes,
I don't think I'm a loser.
Well, and
maybe I am. I don't know.
It's interesting too. Being a female is also an interesting dynamic.
I've noticed that in some of my clips. It's
like when Kevin does it versus
disturbing.
when I do it. Yeah.
It can be very disturbing in some ways, and it's sad, but you do have to realize most people are good people. And,
exactly.
And there's always going to be those.
Yeah. The bad apples.
They're idiots.
Yeah, they are.
They're trying to make trouble.
Yeah.
Which is not anything we want in this music world. So bye-bye.
Nope, bye-bye. We don't need it. Carry on.
Yeah. All right, let's quickly talk about Westville to bring it all together. Passing all these, I mean, literally on the 10-minute drive to your house, I passed many Grateful Dead spots, and coming around to the modern world and the social media world and your business, and we passed the Westville Music Bowl, which, you know, really started you in Jam Band News with the free tickets and the promotion and everything. And I just wanted to talk about living near there and what it's meant to you. It's a really special place for me. So what are your thoughts on Westville? New Haven, Connecticut.
Yes, in New Haven, Connecticut. And so we used to live on West Rock, right down the road, when it was a Pilot Pen. So it was an all-female tennis.
It was a tennis center, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was a nice, we got, so it was between the U.S. Open and I believe the French Open. But
it was like a warm-up for the U.S. Open.
Correct. Right, and so we wouldn't get everybody, but we would get some, you know.
We get some good names.
Jennifer Capriati, I remember. And so we always thought, you know, so I actually worked there as a parking attendant for a brief stint, but we always thought that it was such a shame that such a cool venue, regardless of what it was only being used for one weekend a year. And so by the time they brought it up to the town to create the Westville Music Bowl, I had already moved a little bit outside of the outskirts, but I was thrilled, and I still have very good friends. My son's father lives down there, and you know, one of my favorite parts that might be a little controversial is how early the shows are. Because I mean, yes, you lose a little on the light show. So if you go and try to see, you know, Flaming Lips last year, and you lose a little on the light show or the theatrics, but to be home in bed by 10:30 is well. And again, as a mom of a young child, to be able to bring my children to a place that is so safe and warm and welcoming.
Open and friendly.
Open and friendly. And no one's saying, no, I'm sitting there. It's incredible. Awesome. It's my favorite outdoor venue by far. And I am just thrilled. I'm also really happy that last year they were able to step up with the new partnership and bringing back, because of the competition that's happening in the state, it's nice that we got some of those bands back to Westville. Yeah,
I don't want to be controversial, but a lot of people say Denver is the center of the jam band world, and I'll make the argument it's New Haven.
Yes, I think so. We are...
So just to wind up the Westville conversation, like as Deadheads and a Grateful Dead adjacent podcast, I think for a lot of us, J-Rad at Westville was the first coming out after quarantine to go see shows. Yeah. And J-Rad did, I believe, 9 shows at Westville that spring and summer 2021.
Yes.
And then followed up with Bobby and Wolf Brothers coming in 2022. And then Phil came in 2023. So the fact that we've been able to see Grateful Dead related bands within, you know, earshot of our homes, and like you said, be in bed by midnight, it's been an amazing place to live. And so I just brought a couple things to show you. I know you love Westville, so I grabbed the
penny, the
pennant, the pendant of J-Rad at Westville.
I have a shirt. That's a great.
And then I've got, you know, they gave these out. They're just like thin paper, but I've always kept this on my wall. The 9 shows, again, coming out of COVID. How happy was I to just go see J-Rad 9 times? It was great. Amazing. And I have a poster my buddy bought me because I encouraged him to come out and see the shows, and he was so stoked that he bought me a J-Rad poster from the first night, all signed by those guys.
Yes.
So what a great place. I'm so happy that we have it. So shout out to Westville Music Bowl.
Absolutely.
All right, now I showed you a couple things. Let's take a walk around your house because you got some cool relics.
Awesome, let's do it.
All right, so you got a lot of cool artwork
Yes.
So show us some of it. What do you got going here? Let's do it in order. You got your Jerry wall.
Sure, this is our Jerry wall, absolutely. And this is a Joey Feldman. It's a really cool interpretation, I thought, of a Steely. Again, a little darker and scarier, spookier. That was not one to go on the children's wall.
No. That reminds me of the Buckle Up Kids.
Yeah.
You ever seen that
Yes.
at the Terrapin?
I know exactly what you mean, yeah. This is another Joey. This is a cool, I liked the purple and the reflection in his glasses. I thought that was a really cool print as well. This is another AJ Mastay, but it's very different, right? His style in this one is very different and a lot more sophisticated. I actually bought this, a second print of this for my father for his 70th birthday because it's hanging in his office wall. I mean, that's just classic Jerry right there.
So cool.
And it's a very cool, that's probably my favorite besides the three that I have. That's why he is.
What about this guy?
So this is fun. This is a friend from Albany, the 5-1 Great, made this for us. And it's very heavy. And my thought was when we move and we have to get new furniture, I want to make this into a tabletop.
Oh yeah, that would be a great tabletop.
So yeah, attach a tripod underneath it and
maybe like epoxy it or something.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a very cool depiction for sure. So this is Mark Spusta, and this was from Bicycle Day a couple of years ago, and again, just a really cool artistic interpretation of maybe what Jerry would look like on Bicycle Day. So my father was gifted this box set of Jerry Garcia art from a client of his about 20 years ago. And when my daughter Althea was born, he gifted this to her. She doesn't know that I stole it and put it on our wall of Jerry and not in her bedroom, but it'll eventually make it into her room as well.
It's so fabulous. Everybody knows. I mean, if you're not watching on YouTube and you're just listening, it's that classic cover art vibe of Jerry and Grisman with the kids sitting in front of them.
My favorite is this kid who's just the question mark of confusion of what's going on, and yet everyone's loving it. And talk about community, just go with it.
Now that's a real signature, not a print signature. It sure looks like it.
I'm pretty sure it's a relic. So this one is my favorite. This has been hanging above all homes I've ever owned. It was always the centerpiece of my living area. This was cut out of the Rolling Stone magazine back in 1995 when they did that double edition when Jerry passed away. It's not evenly cut, as you can see, and it was immediately put into a frame purchased at Joann's Fabric. I actually tried to replace the frame recently, and the thin paper was not going to work. So I left it as is, but
don't mess with it.
No. And so to me, this encapsulates the best era of Jerry. This is who I think of when I close my eyes and I think of the man on stage playing those tunes. That is my favorite era of Jerry.
So your favorite Jerry is the salt and pepper Jerry.
Yeah, that's it. He's just so wise, and his expression is that mid-jam, glazed out, but totally locked in, and it's just everything about that picture is exactly what I feel in my heart. Yeah.
Real quick for you super art people in the jam band world, we got a Pollock down here.
Yeah, this is when they released the flavor, Jerry Garcia flavor, which is that's
the fish ice cream.
The fish ice cream
Ben and
flavor.
Jerry's. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's sort of an old school Pollock.
There it is, because he's got the water wheel up there on the lake, which is super important to fish history. That water wheel foundation is fantastic, and cleaning up the lake and the old school fish.
All right, Katie, thanks for coming here with all your jam band news expertise and stories.
Yes.
Fantastic stuff. I look forward to seeing you out there on the road.
Absolutely.
So this is called Rapid Fire. This is just random questions that I shoot my guests. No thinking. Just spit it out. It's like, I tell them it's like a Rorschach test.
Yes.
What are you hearing? Tell me what you're hearing. So let's get to it.
Okay.
All right, real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Rapid fire. What's an underrated Grateful Dead song?
Oh, France.
Really? Oh, that's hysterical. You like it.
I do.
You like it.
I do.
Wow. I've got a whole social media clip about how I that people don't like that song
Oh, okay.
and how I like it.
Oh, yeah, I do.
So yeah, I like it too. I like it, the recorded version. Like it just works for me.
Same.
Wow, I would have said Foolish Heart, but here we go. All right, here we go. What's your favorite post Grateful Dead, post Jerry project with members of all the bands? What was your favorite?
The Dead.
You like The Dead?
I did. I did.
What was that about?
It was heavy. It was a little darker, and I kind of liked the darkness of it.
Man, I never thought of it like that. But I guess you're right.
Yeah, it was a little. It was. I mean, it was a. It and to me, it was a dark time, so it kind of matched how I was feeling about it.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I never really thought about that, but when just in my memory, as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, it was a little. Those shows were a little dark.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to hear a China Cat. I was ready to dig in with a deep do.
And sometimes I like that, like I like Scary Fish.
Oh yeah, red lights.
Yeah,
red lights.
Yeah. All right, what in your opinion? I mean, obviously you're in the business now. You're going to work for JamBase. You've got the thriving social media, JamBase News. I'm sorry, Jam Band News. Why does this jam scene continue to thrive? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's about the community and the like-mindedness of the members of said community, and I think it's generational. I think I grew up with parents who always had music playing and people over, and I think that there's I'm doing the same for my children. So I think it's just about the community, the empathy and kindness and compassion that seems to be missing in a lot of places. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the music that's bringing people together, or it's the people who are creating the vibe around the music. I just think it's the community for sure.
Okay, so real quick.
Yes.
What's your favorite sort of off the cuff jam band that people may not know about that you love?
Annie and the Water.
I've never heard of them. Tell me all about this.
So Annie and the Water are from upstate New York, like Watertown, New York, and they, in my opinion, encapsulate this community idea in their music. They are upbeat, they are fun, they are accessible and kind dudes who have been in different bands themselves, but there's something about their music that makes me tingle inside. And there's certain bands that everybody loves that do not do that for me, and it's not that I think that they're bad bands or it's bad music. Sure. I don't think any music is bad music, but something about Annie and the Water that just makes me super happy when I hear it. Kind of like when I hear the beginning notes of an Eyes, or it gives me that same giggly feeling.
Okay, well, I'm going to go home today and check that out, and then I'm going to link it.
Awesome.
We're going to link that band. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm excited.
Yes.
Now, maybe that's the same answer, but I hope it isn't. Another thing I wrote down, because you're so versed now, and you're seeing all kinds of music with your JamBase connection. What's a band that you think's about to break out? What's like, if you had to pick, let me restate that. If you had to pick a band that's going to be like Goose or Billy Strings, what's the next one that's going to really break, in your opinion?
I mean, I got to give it to my Eggy boys. They're from here. We've watched them. In my opinion, they have a really cool story. So we were talking earlier about breaking out from COVID. These dudes got the afternoon set at the Peach Fest. That first show, that first moment where anyone and everyone is crawling out of their COVID holes. And the noon slot is never the slot you want at a festival, except that year and that festival. And their set was so packed with people who were just jonesing for live music. And ever since then, they've been on this trajectory. Not only that, but I will say these dudes are serious. They are not partying with the crowd after the shows. They're not being silly boys. They are very determined and very serious, and I think that they absolutely are the next big thing.
Okay, we're gonna link Eggy. Everybody go check out Eggy. All right, Katie, thanks so much.
Sure.
Really appreciate you having us into your home. I know that you're not going to be here for very much longer, but thanks for having us stop by and talk to you about all your great experiences.
Yeah.
Send us out with your favorite Grateful Dead Grateful Dead song. Tell us a little bit why it's your favorite song. You only get to pick one.
I only get to pick
I
one.
know you probably have more than one, but what's the one absolute, you're on a desert island, this is the only song the rest of your life. What is it?
So it is Terrapin Station. And the reason why is because I was fortunate enough to catch a live Terrapin at a Nassau Coliseum show. And although I had listened to it prior and I had heard it, I had never been among people who were so psyched to hear it. I actually have the tattoo right here.
Oh, show the camera.
Inspiration Move Me Brightly is my mantra, and this is forever living with me. And the composition, the different parts, the non-straightforward, all of it is Terrapin Station is my end-all, be-all song. Not even just Grateful Dead, of ever, all of it.
I think it's their masterpiece.
It truly is.
I really do.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Thank
Let's sign
you so
off.
much.
I'll let you sign off for yourself.
Thank you.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you. Thank you so much for having me. I am Katie, and I am a huge Grateful Dead fan.
Katie from Band News.
Yes.
Until next time, peace.
Thanks.
Let my inspiration flow in token rhyme, suggesting rhythm that will not forsake me till my tale is told and done. While the fire lights aglow, strange shadows from the flames will grow, till things we've never seen will seem familiar. Shadows of a sailor forming, winds both foul and fair all swarm. Down in Carlisle he loved a lady many years ago. Here beside him stands a man, a soldier, from the looks of him, who came through many fights but lost at love. While the storyteller speaks, a door within the fire creaks. Suddenly flies open, and a girl is standing there. Eyes alight with glowing hair, all that fancy paints as fair. She takes her fan and throws it in the lion's den. Which of you to gain me tell will risk uncertain pains of hell? I will not forgive you if you will not take the chance. The sailor gave at least a try, the soldier being much too wise. Strategy was his strength and not disaster. job is to shed light and not to master. In the shadow of the moon, Terrapin Station.
Thanks for joining me on the So Many Roads podcast. I'm your host, Pete Booley. Dave Steinman is our show's technical director. Theme music by Sawyer Booley. Original artwork by Ashley Hodson. You can find us on YouTube, Meta, at our website, somanyroadspodcast.buzzsprout.com. If you have a unique story or perspective to share, feel free to make a comment on any platform or hit me up at somanyroadspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, let's keep the journey going. All right, Katie, now that we've seen all your art, now I want you to show everybody as a special bonus your best relic in the house. Introduce it for us.
My best relic in the house is my partner, Kevin, also known as Yeah Bro Kev, and he is on TikTok. Give him a follow.
Got him!